pledge allegiance to the flag Okay, roll call of officers. President here. Vice President? Mike's en route. Okay, Secretary?
Present.
Treasurer? Baseball Commissioner?
We don't have one yet.
All right. Member at large? Dave? Here. Member at large? Gene? Okay, I'm going to break from the normal procedures we do here. I want to officially nominate Tony Kendall as the baseball commissioner. I realized that it wasn't done at the last board meeting, and it should have been, but as of now, he's officially the baseball commissioner. So he can. Did everybody get a chance to go over the minutes from May?
Yes.
Nobody has any questions about them or anything? If not, I'd like to vote in the previous minutes from May. I need a second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, the minutes are voted in. The president's report. I have a lot of stuff that I want to get done, and we're heading in that direction. I've talked to quite a few people that are stepping up to help us out. I think we've got a great board right now. I know we have our All-Stars going, which you'll hear from other people. And that's about what I got. A lot of other stuff I'll be going over in the open mic a little later. But that's all I got for the president's report. Vice President's report. Is God here? Okay. Push your button.
Name is Mike Choquette. Born and raised here, so new vice president. I guess there's a lot of things to do. Start off by saying been playing baseball all my life. Played at college. Here to help the kids, help the community. Some things we got coming up. Willows Bash, looking forward to. I think we got 15 teams signed up between 6U and 8U. Got a 7U travel team putting together. So it's going to be a fun future.
Turn your mic on. You can't hear you.
We posted a net income of negative $11,595.17, but keep in mind that is coming off of having all of the All-Stars funds in the accounts from the previous month, and then actually this past month, all the money coming out for jerseys and all the different tournament fees and stuff. So it's really not a loss. We're just making up for the large gain that we posted the previous month. That's all I got.
Really, I mean, for me right now, it's Willow's Bash. Obviously, we have All-Stars going on with the
You don't have one?
Sorry. Really, right now, it's all about getting the Willow's Bash stuff ready. That's the week of the 17th through the 20th. Actually, we're going to have a couple games on a Wednesday, which is the 16th, just to accommodate a couple teams and to kind of get the ball rolling and give us a little bit of buffer in case we have a weather issue. And then obviously, my 8U All-Star team's headed up to Ocala on Thursday. So a lot going on with kind of postseason stuff, but I'm hoping the bash will turn out to be pretty good deal. I think it's important to have tournaments like that at the park, to kind of bring kids in. So that's pretty much it, I think, for me right now.
Not much to say. I've been chasing uniforms, all-star uniforms still. Hopefully we'll be picking up softball coaches tomorrow, hopefully. Rings and trophies have been ordered for the Willows Bash, and that's all for now.
So some housekeeping issues. No, we still have due the tax returns. And the tax returns, we have the second quarterly. I got the first one, so second quarterly is due in July. So that'll be upcoming. One thing we have kind of new. It's one of the rules that it hasn't been enforced, but it is something that came up, was about the signage. So all of the signage banners that are in the park need to be within the field of play. So they can't be outward facing, can't be facing the road, can't be facing the sidewalks, pathways. They have to be in the field of play, facing out. So if they're along the back fence, facing in along the sides, but they all have to be in facing. And then once season is done, all-star season is done, they have to be taken down. They go back up when the fall season is. When fall season is done, they're down, back up for the spring. And another thing, coming up to the Willows Bash, I know you said you had the teams. When you get a schedule, let me get that. That way I can get staff scheduled. We can get them line dragged before and after every game so they be kept up to par. And that's it. That's all I got.
If nobody has any more questions, I'd like to vote in the reports. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, reports are voted in. Old business, All-Star books. Where are we at on the All-Star books?
I have everything.
Your-
6U's good, 8U's good.
Your letter of eligibility, that was what he was looking for. Everything's good? He was, okay. Did you find your abuse prevention?
Yes, I also asked him about, because I called the kinetics, and they said you only have to take it one time.
The abuse prevention, yes. That at the beginning of,
No, the coach's certification from Babe Ruth.
yeah, that's
You only got to
that's
take
done.
it one time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you
'Cause
get,
mine was from 2019. Somebody told me I had to do it again.
there's a different one that has to be done every, NAES has to be done every couple
So,
of
yeah,
years, but you're good.
6U
if you're
books, they're good.
Okay, awesome.
So
Good deal.
6U books are good, 8U books are good. We have letter of intents and everything.
Yes. Everybody, I sent out all the managers.
12U? 12, I'm missing a couple of, okay. All right.
How are we looking with Dustin's? Have you,
Will
I'm looking
reach
at you,
out to
Tony.
Dustin?
Tony, I'm looking at you. Will you? Okay, I mean, I know you guys are getting ready to get out of here, but if you've got yours in order, that would be amazing if you could just double check on him. Thank you.
What about softball? Did we figure out if we're all good?
With,
What Matt Moore said, or whoever you were talking to?
have you been going over anything with Mike Moore?
We have a different commissioner. We do not use Mike Moore. We have
Okay.
Doug Robinson.
Doug Robinson, that's it.
He's a softball commissioner. Anything that he sends me, I'll send to you. We don't have the letter of eligibility. I think I emailed it to you. Okay, yeah, I think she's Amy's on top of things.
So you're probably set.
Yeah.
Um,
And I sent it to Tommy, and Ed has it as well.
okay. So it sounds like softball's covered too. Willow's Bash. We've got everything lined up. We have the umpires. Brandon's going to get us with the fields. We do have to tackle concession. If anybody has any ideas about concession, bring them forward because we need the concession worked out within the next 10 days. That's going to move to the front of my list.
Both concessions, correct?
Yes.
I did tell the teams to pay at concession.
Okay. Okay. Well, it's not going to be that hard to man the cold stuff and the candies and the sodas and the waters and all that. If we want somebody cooking burgers and hot dogs and stuff like that, that's what we
I
need to
think food
work
trucks
out,
is going to be the
or
best
we can do food trucks.
because
You know,
we're-
beyond the
That-
candies, the sodas, the waters, we can do food trucks.
that same weekend is 12U districts and 10U, and I know that we're all going to be elsewhere. That was the biggest issue with the Willows Bash. That's why it's only 6U and 8U. So
Right.
I think food trucks is going to be your best bet, but we will have to have someone there to collect checks from the,
Unless we get a full-time cook,
unless
right,
you
for
have
the
some, yeah,
days or whatever it is.
if there's any
That would benefit.
parents that we
that
know
would
that we would-
benefit.
I'd be willing to grill, but I need to see what
what you're
our
working with.
12U because I don't want to miss all the kids' games. But if we can see what the schedule, that's coming soon, isn't it, Gene?
Yeah,
We'll work out that. That's the last thing we have to work out is concession.
Maybe get like a ice cream or like a icy,
yeah,
and then you cook a lot.
yeah. I think Amber was in, I don't know, whoever, we had touched base on the ice cream truck and Chick-fil-A,
I think we need to have a little
which,
meeting.
and we know they have to have their liability insurance for Royal Palm.
Do you work on Sunday?
Oh, not on Sunday. They won't be there on Sunday. Chick-fil-A wouldn't. But
Okay, so let's put that in the front of everybody's head as far as concession for Willow's Bash. We need to make sure that that's the last thing we got. Okay, we'll move on to new business. First of all was the workshop. We had the workshop last night, and there was a lot of things brought up about softball and about baseball. We talked about some of the rules as far as baseball, and we talked about going to possibly going to USSSA instead of Cal Ripken, because that's what the majority of the teams around here play under.
Can I interject real quick?
Yes.
Can we get Steve up here so you guys can ask him any questions? He's the state official for USSSA.
Yes, that was, I was going to actually introduce everybody. If let me look through the rest of these. With the rules that they talked about, I'll put out, but it was the one base on an overthrow for baseball in fall for 6U and 8U. We're going to hold, what they suggested is we hold one base on an overthrow for fall, and in spring we have open bases exactly like the rules for Cal Ripken during the tournament, during the All-Star tournaments. We make spring exactly like that in all age levels.
With the exception of 6U doing the sling, 8U doing kid pitch,
Right.
and 10U doing open bases, which isn't Cal Ripken.
What is it? No, the sling would be. Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
spring.
Yeah. Right? In the spring. Fall's the way we've been doing it. So, Tony, clarify what's happening in fall versus what's happening in spring. She's taking notes.
Passing the microphone.
So Yeah, so in the fall, we're doing regular, basically Cal Ripken. So there's no sling. Okay. So subdued Cal Ripken. But basically, the things that we do extra, which are the sling in 6U, kid pitch in 8U, and stealing bases and open bases in 10U, is only for spring season. Not going to do that in fall. And we're doing that because we do it in spring because that's when kids are going to be moving up to the next division, which is the whole point, to get them exposed to some of that new stuff that they're going to have to know. Fall, we want to keep it a little more, instructional, not as competitive, because all those things kind of open the door to, some more competitiveness. Less at bats, right, is also a con of doing that kind of stuff, but I think the positives outweigh that. So we're not going to do it for both seasons. Only in the spring are we doing those kind of extra things. Fall is going to be kind of, not necessarily Cal Ripken, but our normal rules, for all the divisions.
And you are gonna want to do kid pitch still in 8U?
Yes.
In spring only?
In spring only,
Okay.
yeah. Same thing, 2 innings.
2 innings.
3 runs,
3 runs, okay.
kind of a pared down version.
Okay. Now USSSA. First of all, I'd like to introduce Amy D'Arcangelo. She's stepping up as the new softball commissioner. So I'm appointing her as softball commissioner. And actually, let me go through a couple more. Scott Klassen is stepping up as softball travel coordinator, so he'll be working with Amy. Gary Stelgis, who isn't here, and Kristen Castano is going to work together as far as sponsorship and fundraising. They're going to help us out with that. And then, God bless you. And then Manny Amador is coming over, and he's going to be bringing a 12U travel team. They're 11 now. They're going to be 12U, and he's going to step up, and he's got a lot of great ideas. Tony met him, Mike met him, I met with him, and he's going to pick up the ball and help us out with park development. So Amy, I told him I wasn't going to require him to say anything. Everybody knows Amy, but if any of you feel like you need to say anything, you can step up to the mic and say something about yourself or what your plans are or anything like that. But as far as USSSA, this gentleman, Steve, Amy's been talking to him, and he's right over here, and he's going to tell us about USSSA and what the benefits are there and what they offer as far as compared to, and it's not a comparison, but it sort of is, Cal Ripken, where there's no teams around here in Cal Ripken as far as softball. There's like 2, I think, in this area. There's not even 2. But from what I understand and from what's been pointed out to me, it might benefit us extremely for the league and for our all-stars and for everything if we go with USSSA. So I'd like Steve to come up and tell us what he's got going on and what he's thinking. Yes.
No, you could go this one right here. Steve, right here, and then.
I'll stand, it's easier. My name is Steve Schiller. I'm the umpire-in-chief for the state of Florida for USSSA. I've been with USSSA for the last 14 years. My extensive govern every high school, middle school, and softball in this county. I'm in charge of, been doing it for over 25 years with the FSHA. Your league was originally with USSSA back in the past. When the league fell apart about 4 years ago, pretty much that's when USSSA and Royal Palm didn't have anything more to do with each other. Cal Ripken is a dinosaur. USSSA is the elite softball program throughout the United States. We have 15 executive sports with 1.5 million participants with over 3,000 events every month. Florida is dominant in USSSA. All the cities here in Palm Beach County, follow rec ball in the USSSA, and they do travel tournaments. I'm preparing for the big one this weekend at the Swamp Classic. Your team in the 8 and unders took my Coral Springs Ultimate Challenge Championship this weekend, which is good to see. Amy brought her team into my Beast of the Southeast tournament, brand new, never knew anything. Rude awakening, wasn't it? USSSA has a lot to offer where nobody, even ASA, which is now called USA, can't even offer us. When you get through middle school and high school, you can go to college. From college, there's a pro league. USSSA has the Pride. I was fortunate enough to be the UIC for the Pride for 5 years with Jessica Mendoza, Janie Finch, Kat Osterman, all the Olympians in the United States. They get a chance to go up to Vieira, to the home office. You play in the states or tournaments there, they have the USSSA Pride girls walking around the different fields. You ever watch football? I'm sure some of you guys do. You see Jessica Mendoza? She's a newscaster, former player of the USSSA Pride. We have a lot to offer. A lot of the programs in this county are USSSA and rec. You get to make your own rec rules. The only time you have to follow the rule book is when it's a tournament. We modify it because the definition of rec ball is fun ball. Teach the kids so they get their chance. Rec ball, a lot of these kids don't get a chance to make their high school or their above collegiate level softball. The only time they get to play is inside the villages or the cities. I govern right now 5,000 umpires in the state of Florida with about 250,000 kids. You're fortunate enough that I'm just the state umpire in chief, but your state director lives right here in Wellington, Mr. Gordon Patterson. We are on a one-on-one basis constantly. We're constantly working tournaments, doing things together to promote the sport. Once your city comes on board as a USSSA program, I come out at no charge to you guys to train your umpires. We put them through clinics. I know you were using Scott Hill just recently, and Scott Hill is one of the original Royal Palm Pumas from the 1980s. And it's nice to see Scott back out here. Both Scott's daughters grew up through the Royal Palm program. Both his stepdaughters grew up through the Royal Palm program in Wellington. So it's good to see that you guys have it. I will do everything I can to make you guys happy. When you guys want to have tournaments, you just got to let me know when when we talk about fall tournaments, what weekends you want to host. If it is already a weekend that's done by somebody else prior, as the new person, you just don't jump in and take somebody else's slot. Wellington lost the Walk on the Wild Side this year. They folded. They no longer have a 501c3. They don't have a travel program. And they won't have a rec program because they have no umpires this coming year. I have withdrew my application, and I told them, I'm sorry. You violated the code of conduct, code of ethics. Won't happen. We could do it, there will be some dates coming up in the spring that'll be open up. I've been talking with Amy. I said she's got to present it to you guys because you have to approve it. Basically, we get you we give you the dates. We run the tournament for you. We actually have site people on site running the tournament, making sure the scores are done, everything is done. At the end of the tournament, like for Coral Springs, I do a financial report. I hand them the financial report and I hand them a check. Coral Springs is walking away with over $4,000 this week. That's not bad for that small little tournament. Royal Palm used to, back in the days, have 100-team tournaments. We used to use Willows. Now it's Farron was Mazzolati before the big problem changed. And we used to use Seminole Palms. You being a village, you'll have to go through the village, which is the liaison, to go to use a county field. But the more fields you have, the more teams you can take. And, of course, with softball, when you have tournaments, you got to have concessions. Chick-fil-A was your answer for Saturday, for your baseball tournament. You set them up, they give you 20%, you do nothing. You just, here's your area, set it up. When it's all said and done, you put the money right in your hand. It's like found money. You have to do nothing. You got to be careful with some of the food trucks. Schoolhouse Bus is a good vendor. There's a couple of other vendors that are good. Just be very careful. Make sure they all have certificates of insurance. Rita's Ice in Royal Palm is a vendor. Chick-fil-A has already been approved by Palm Beach County. So if Palm Beach County approves them, all the cities and municipalities can approve them because they have to have product liability on their certificate. We as USSSA require all our umpires go through background check, through Safe Sport, as well as the coaches are required to do it too. We cannot put you in a tournament until you're fully cleared. Takes the coaches usually 2 to 4 days. I keep asking them, why do you keep background checking me? I'm a level 1. I'm multi-state NCIC. You know, I go through the high school, everything, but I go through it every year, get background checked. You never know when something comes up. So I hold my coaches and my umpires to the highest standards. The kids have a really good time. Okay, Amy, I'm going to defer to you. What did you girls think after they went to the award ceremony on Sunday? The rings looked like the World Series rings, didn't they? Huh? My person that I deal with personally, you know, I get my stuff. When it comes to my tournaments, I spend a lot of time and effort with the awards package. Kids don't want trophies. They don't want medals. But you walk around with that giant ring, that's a lot of bling. And to say for a first-year team, kudos to you, Amy, because you put up a hard show against Coral Springs. A win over 17-12 in a championship game. That's a good game. The girls played hard, and I do different things for the girls in the Beast and Southeast and Santa Slam. When it comes to Santa Slam, I pick out an MVP award. Regardless, win or lose on Sunday, every team comes up to the award ceremony, and there's an MVP picked from the losing team as they're going home. Coaches don't pick the kid. Umpires pick the kid. John and Matt, notorious. My 2 umpires that actually coach an umpire on the field at the same time. They're wanted by everybody. They're loved by everybody. They do, you know, USSSA is the premier sport. We teach them right through T-ball, through coach pitch, through 10s, 12s, 14s, 16s, and 18s. This weekend, I got 72 teams in Gardens. I have no availability for teams to get in. I am sold out. My next week tournament, which is Father's Day in Boca, I'm sold out there too. Then I get to have a couple of weeks off and go up to Vieira for the World Series and then go over to the state tournament. But we have rule books we give out. I do all my coaches clinics, all my umpire clinics. You know, the best thing I would recommend for you guys, especially for softball, is get with some of the team people like Scott Hill that knows the high school. Get the high school girls out here.
Yeah, he
Okay?
brings them out.
Bring them out. You train them. I use them in middle school. Can use them in high school. You know. Oh yeah, that's something normal for him. You know, my daughter, my 27-year-old loves Scott Hill because Scott was part of my original Palm Beach Pride program, and my youngest daughter was on the team when Scott was doing pitching and catching. So I mean, I have a hard spot for Scott. So I'm glad he's still in it. Especially his wife Sherry is probably tired. But USSSA does have a lot to offer you. You know, uniforms, pins, expertise, or whatever we have. And you know, if you've ever been to a World Series or at least go watch a pro game, you know, they will actually announce your name over the PO in front of everybody saying, oh, in the attendance today is the Royal Palm All-Star 12U team. There's nothing more to a kid than getting their name put up on the Trimbatron. So, but, you know, I'm here. You know, I talked to Amy today. I talked to Dave. You know, and Glenn, I remember you from years. I know you've been out here a long time.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is I'm here to help whatever you guys need. I'm willing to help and do whatever needs to be. You know, program, I'd love to see you come back. You're at a good spot right now with softball because Wellington is folding, Acreage is folding, Gardens is growing, Jupiter is growing, West Boynton is growing. This is where my home base is at. I live right there. I handle Boca Raton, and now Coral Springs is now asking me to take over their program. I can't branch out too much. I ain't got enough people in enough time of the day. And I tell everybody, when it comes to high school, don't call me. I'm on a ball field.
I guess what's involved with becoming a US AAA charter as far as rec wise?
Very easily. You just have to sanction your teams.
And you can give me all the information to do all that stuff?
Yep. You can go to real easy, go right to Florida USSSA fastpitch.com. All that information is right there. I'm not sure what the sanction cost is. Once the team is sanctioned, and all the teams are sanctioned, you are now part of the U-Trip family.
Okay.
Yep, go ahead. No, you just have to sanction the team. You don't have to do what you do in travel, where you have to put all the kids on the roster. Okay, it doesn't work that way. It makes it, rec ball is, we try to make it simple and easy. Say you have 4 8 and under teams. Okay, each 8 and under team has 10 kids. 2 sanctions. Maximum 20 kids would normally go on a roster. You leave the rosters blank. It's a benefit for your all-star teams because you don't have to register again for an all-star team. You get to use that sanction, then put the kids online on the roster. So you get to save it. And if they need softballs, we have them. Right now they're on a boat from China. When they coming? I can't answer that. I have enough for the next 2 weekends and I'm out of stock.
What qualifications do you need to go to states and World Series? I mean, I that's pretty much
A lot different than Cal Ripken. And you guys have to understand, I haven't done a baseball game since 1997. In USSSA, as long as you go to the state, win, lose, or draw, you don't have to qualify. If you register in an NIT tournament, which we usually host 2 a year in Palm Beach County or in Treasure Coast, you play in the NIT, you automatically can bypass the state and go straight to the World Series. But I will tell you this, it ain't no game going to the World Series. You're getting teams that are loaded from all over the United States. And they're out there to do one thing, play softball. They live, breathe, and play softball. So there is no, like Cal Ripken, you have to qualify, you have to win to go to the States, to go to the World. You got to qualify in the States to go to the World. USSSA, you don't have to.
Okay.
I think that was the biggest concern was, it is a rec program, and we wanted to make sure that with discussions, they wanted to make sure there was somewhere for all-stars to go, state competitions and stuff like that.
I've got the Royal Palm All-Stars playing this weekend in the Swamp Classic and Gardens. I also have the FIPS All-Star teams playing this weekend in the Swamp Classic. And they asked the exact same question you do. Do we have to qualify? No. Just sign up and play.
Okay.
If you don't, and at one point we qualify a team, A or B, A being stronger than a B team. If a team comes into wants to join the state and hasn't played the tournament all year, they'll be classified as an A team. We're not going to let a team come in stacked, beat up on all the B teams. We don't allow it. And same thing with the World Series.
What makes a team? Is it A or B? Is it their record through the season or tournaments? Is there a certain amount of tournaments they have to play?
If a team is 22-0 and only gave up 2 runs in 22 games, you're an A team. But if you're a 10-10 and gave up 60 runs, no. We have certain teams out there that are A teams, certain teams that are B team. I know you both know Cooper City very well.
Yes.
Okay? They're an A team. And I knew that you were an A team before they started. They haven't lost yet. Martin County Cruisers wants to be a B team. Sorry, there's 2 people to classify you. And that's not my job. I'm the one, I make a recommendation to Gordon. Gordon goes, boop, A team. We're not gonna let you go around week after week beating up on the weaker kids just so you can go trophy hunt. We've actually turned teams away because it degrades the program. You demoralize a kid, then the parents get obnoxious. I don't want that. Your Gators Orange team. Orange is supposed to be classified A. The blue is the B team. They are definitely a B team. This tournament this weekend, in my eyes, you were the only strong team out there. You and Coral Springs. And what did it come down to? The 2 teams in the finals. I called it before it even happened. It was a coin flip who was going to win it. But and we do take the opinion of the coaches, and we ask you, what do you think? You think, how's that team doing? And then when we do our schedule, we look at, all that stuff is in the ISDS system. Every game, every inning is scored in the USSSA site. So we know how, and we can track the children based on their roster. so we can see how the kids are progressing and moving along. And also, USSSA has the AAG teams, All-American games. If you try out for an All-American team, there's usually 8 teams in each H division all over the United States. There's a Southern Florida, there's Mid-Atlantic, Midwest. You make an all-star team, you go up to Viera and play in the AAG games. You're playing with college coaches. College coaches come down and actually coach the kids. Parents are not allowed to coach. College students come in to coach these kids. You know, when you take a whole team of 8-year-olds and you stand them next to a pro team and they're doing the national anthem together, how do you think those parents feel when they're watching their little daughters out there next to these pros that are going to go have a game? So UTRIP does have a lot to offer you. You know,
Okay,
we have elite tournaments and stuff like that.
We'll go over all of this, and I'll get with you if you stay around, and I'll get your information, and we're definitely going to research it. Thank you. Thank you for letting us know what's going on. All right, appreciate it.
Thanks, Steve.
Yep. If you guys don't mind, I've got
Thank you.
slides.
Okay.
They're already asking.
Thank you. Okay, baseball. Manny, you want to explain to us some of your thoughts real quick? No, I mean, not real quick. As much time as you need, obviously. Thank you, sir. Yeah, it's out that way in there. All right. So while we're reading this, one more thing in the workshop was uniforms, and interleaguing. Amy will go over interleaguing with us, and we're gonna. That's one thing we're gonna try to work on to make it to where the softball teams aren't playing just each other in our league. So where she's mentioned she's gonna get with a few other rec leagues around, and we're gonna work with them and our scheduler to try to make sure that we can make it where it works out.
And I think that'd be another advantage of going to the USSSA is because they actually have leagues all around here. West Point and Gardens, you know, those are all places we can travel to.
Okay, Manny, what you got?
Anybody have any questions?
I know that you talked to me a lot about making the park, you know, like when you were growing up, how everybody's dying to get to the field on Saturday, and that's one among a bunch of other things, but that really hit home with me because that's what I've been trying to do for 4 years.
I have no affiliation to this park, never have. I've been involved in baseball in Palm Beach County for about 7 years with my boy. We moved up to the west part of the county about 5 years ago. Again, no affiliation with Willows or whatnot. My boy has played in a few teams up here, some better than others. And for some reason, all I kept hearing was how this park, Willows, was just like a doormat. He would just stop by and just left. All the talent would just walk away. And then a mutual friend of ours, Angel, with another mutual friend of ours, Jose, I guess put me in contact with you, said maybe we can shake things up a little bit. And here I am. I know that there is a lot of talent that comes through here. My boy has played up 12U, 11U, 10U in this area. and some really good ball players, and every one of them, at one point or another, have come to the Willows. And no one really has anything positive to say about the park. It's not against anybody here, but like I said, I have no affiliation. So,
But you definitely got some ideas and some thoughts on how we can get them players to stop here.
So I kind of put everything on there. I think it starts with, we've spoken about this with Mike as well and with Tony, getting individuals that care and what they're doing. I came to a tryout. They just invited me to go out there just to have some kids. I brought a couple kids. They were not very good ball players. They're kind of like the lesser developed ones, the ones that need a little more work. Some of them are a little better than others. At some point in the fall season, maybe even early spring this season, I ran into one of the dads of one of those kids, and he had left. I was like, what happened? He was turned off by what was here. And I'm like, so what are you doing? He's like, no, we're just looking for a team and this and that. And so that guy didn't even last a season. And again, it's just a lot of he say, she say out there. And they're really nice fields, very very good location. Having spoken to you and to Mike and whatnot, if you guys want to turn things around, keep some of the talent here, revamp the program, I'm willing to help.
Okay. And that's Manny Amador, and he, like I said, he's bringing in a travel team that's gonna be 12U. He's gonna help Angel and Gene with the second 12U team, and obviously Tony and Mike, if he can help you out in any way, he's gonna jump on board. And from what our mutual friends have explained to me, he's got a lot of the same intentions we have, and I want people like that around us. I want to thank you again.
Yep.
And the door's open. You take the ball and run with it. Help us out any way you can.
Just let me know what you need.
All right.
I have a question. We're going to play rec, right? In spring?
Who's where?
The players.
What players?
80% of the team?
My team?
Yes. Of any team any travel team under 13U. Does it? I just want to make sure that's clear to parents and players from day one, because that was the same situation.
I have kids from other counties trying out. I don't know if that's going to fly with them to do rec here, but I can. Put my kid in rec. If you really need them to.
I feel like
My kid did rec in Okehili. He's playing actually, so Tony this weekend. Just for All Stars. I haven't done rec like in 5 years.
Yeah.
I think rec is like this dude Steve just said. It's just fun ball. The problem with rec is the problem you guys have here. You have volunteers that are running it, which is the way that it is. You have volunteers coaching it, but you got to have volunteers that care. You need to have more Mikes, more Tonys, people, more Angels that really dedicate themselves to it. I used to come here to the batting cages with one of our mutual friends, Jose. And I would just walk around or whatnot. And, it was a mess.
Yeah.
So I just put it out there. Let's say I'm a single dad. I come here, I move from, Orlando. And I move across the street, I want to put my boy in a program, and that's my first impression. I'm probably taking my business elsewhere. And it's not just keeping the ones you have, it's maintaining it and getting their siblings and their cousins, their kids, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the recipe for success.
What exactly did you see that you didn't like?
About?
Yeah, coaches, whatever, a little more specific.
That I didn't like personally, I was very in and out. I went to a travel tryout. It was just out of courtesy. I had no intentions of playing on the team. He just wanted me to take a couple players, so they looked like to have a couple players. It was a mess. That travel team, I mean, you got to put together a travel team to compete. You need to really try and to get kids that are developed and can compete at the next level. Travel's not that you need to be rich or wealthy, but travel is more expensive. I'm not sure if I put it on there. For example, I am probably going to be charging about $200 a month per family. That's for paid coaching, tournaments, umpires. Umpires are $50 each per game. Tournaments range anywhere from $325 to $600, depending what you're doing. Perfect games are $5 and some change. Then you got gate fees, depending on the tournament. So if I have a family, let's say in the fall, 3 months, 4 months, that's $800 to go out there and get humiliated. It's not really good morale for the kids, the parents, for the families. So you want to try to build a winner. And I'm not saying bring super teams, but develop kids, develop them properly. I told Glenn, told Tony, Mike, I'm willing to help in any way that I can. I'll be here most of the time. My kid trains with someone that we're trying to get back in here 3, 4, 5 days a week. And when he's not with him, he's in practice or in games. So if everything works out, I'll be here anywhere from 5 to 7 days a week. Anything that I can do to help with my resources, my networking. I'm going to have a couple of paid coaches there. I'm going to have some college kids there for pitching and whatnot. It's a little more affordable. I have a former big leaguer who's outstanding with infield, outfield. He's just the absolute best I've ever seen. He's already committed to me. And it's just take the time and just develop them, you know? I can't really give you an answer for myself because I haven't seen a lot of it. I've seen very little. So I can't just pinpoint this or this or this. I just know in 2 of the teams that he's on right now, at least half of the players of each of those teams have come through here. Probably more than half.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
That was basically a lot of the stuff that went over in a workshop, and then I introduced people. We have to come up with our dates. What is it? Fair and Fields.
Ed had just asked if we could make sure that they get dragged on a regular basis. The fair and fields are rough.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we actually and actually now is typically a closure time where they'll close them up and start doing some stuff to them. So after the tournament weekend, we'll go look at the schedule. We typically do odd even closures. That way we can start getting some more clay down and taking care of the things that need to on the field. So I'll get with you and go through that schedule. But yeah, I'll put in a request. I'll make sure that the guys out there are dragging them every day. I know tomorrow they have the game, so they'll be dragged in line. But yeah, we make sure we stay on top of the guys out there, taking care of them.
Okay,
thanks.
Thank you, Brandon.
Do you guys, you don't have your dates set for, because I feel like we can't set up our evaluations and stuff until we know when the fields are open.
You'll get with us.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember how long they usually take.
Well, typically for fall, when would you start the evaluation time? If you give me a
Kids
general.
come back early.
That's what we're getting ready
That's
to
what we're
figure
getting
out
ready
right
to
now.
figure
Okay.
out. Do we need, I mean, do we make the decision and then you guys work around us, or do we work around you?
No, but if I have a ballpark, like
Okay.
just figure, let's say if you're gonna start evaluations, end of August,
Mhm.
then I know how many weeks we have to close each field down,
Okay.
and then I can get it scheduled.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so go with the dates. We need to figure out what we're gonna do, and it doesn't have to be completely finalized. We need registration when we're gonna start. And then opening day, or I'm sorry, evals. And
In order to
opening
open
day.
up, I've got a call with the guy of registration on Thursday. It's been a mess. All the age ranges are incorrect, and nobody on our side of the computer is able to change it. It has to be done by SSI. So I can't start, but while I get him on the phone, when he's adjusting the age ranges, I want to tell him, when we can open our registration. I mean, we'll open it as soon as possible, obviously, but I need to be able to input when opening day is so that Jesse will be able to input the schedule when it's time. We always have been done before Thanksgiving, which is, the 25th this year. You'll have your calendars, have a calendar. So we figure everybody leaves on the 19th-ish to go away. So I would suggest we want to be done before that.
The week of
The
8th
13th?
to the 13th, yeah.
As the final, be done with that. And then we go 7 weeks before that? Because we have 12 games with 1 week as a cushion.
And then playoffs.
And, yeah. How single, yeah. And kids go back on the 10th. I would like to push for a longer preseason. I know it's kind of annoying, but that will give Scotty's time to do uniforms nicely. We've always rushed him. We've given him 2 weeks, and he's knocked them out for us, but they're not always the prettiest. So we want to make sure. I would like to give 3 weeks of preseason at least. Is that too much, do you think?
I don't think this year he even had a full 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know.
And
It was
that's
crazy.
the problem.
So that's what I want to.
People are complaining about the uniforms, but I don't think there was some that were teams that were like literally days ahead of when we needed them, and so I don't think that's on him.
No, definitely
Well,
not.
let's start with, if everybody's got their calendars, let's start with, we want to be done by the 13th. So we need 1 week cushion, 1 week of playoffs, because it's single elimination, and then 6 weeks of games, right?
Yeah.
Get your little right around like 19th, 20th. So we could do the 18th if
Of
September.
of September.
Okay.
Previously, we talked about doing evals differently, going back to what we used to do and do them on Saturdays instead of trying to do them during the week. So if we did evals on the 21st, we could still do drafts like we've been doing, which has worked out very well, in my opinion. We could do that the following Saturday on the 28th, which would put practices starting the 30th, and then you'd have 3 weeks.
30th. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that was one more
5,
thing we
6.
discussed in the workshop was, like, if our
That's
first evals are the 21st, that's when our registration shuts off the 21st.
Yes.
Walk up on the 21st is the last chance you got to join a league.
Okay.
And then they have a whole week to get eval.
Yeah, you
Now,
can do
my thing is, if the parent can't get their kid in here to get them evaled, so we can have them evaled before the 28th draft, we give them their $150 back and say, try next season.
Yeah, you got a full week to fit that in.
There's no excuse for every single player not being evaled.
Okay, can we have a makeup eval day, though, in case somebody
There's
can't
5
be
of
there?
them or 6 of them.
Well, I mean, like, do makeups on the 25th or something like that,
No,
or
what I'm
Wednesday.
saying is,
Just
the
call and make an
21st,
appointment type of thing?
We're gonna man the field the 23rd, 24th, 25th, every day for that week. One of us is gonna be up at the field that can
Or
evaluate.
available, okay.
There's no reason they shouldn't be evaluated before the 28th on the draft.
So evals will be on the 21st?
I think we need to have a set date
Yes.
for makeups, and then if for some reason someone can't be there, we can go and work that out
I think the 20.
That
yeah,
way
I agree.
we all can be there, because me evaluating 8U when I didn't see the other 8U
Yeah,
kids isn't going to do
that makes sense.
any good for one of us to be there for evals, because he could be
8.
a stud or he could not be. And if I didn't see the other kids, how am I going to rank them?
So what you're saying is the first eval's on the 21st, and then
Make
makeups
it on Tuesday or Monday, and then if for
for
some
different
reason
age groups?
For
no,
everybody.
for
no,
everyone,
for
'cause
everybody.
there's
Come.
usually not a lot of kids, and if for some reason someone can't be there, we can work that out with, it shouldn't be a
Case by
big
case.
group of
Yeah,
kids.
yeah. I think that's right. I agree.
Okay, that
Have
makes sense.
somebody age appropriate
Okay,
that
the
eval
24th?
that
Would be the
division be
24th.
there.
So Tuesday the 24th would be a makeup eval day?
Yes.
I think that would work.
8/24. Okay. And then we start our season. Practice starts,
30.
what, 8:30?
The 30th. Drafts are the 28th. Managers
Yeah.
meetings 27th.
Oh,
Work backwards.
Practice is the 30th. So you want, and drafts are the 28th. You want managers, can we not do managers meeting the same day as
You can do
draft?
it the same day.
Are we doing a coaching clinic or anything like that? Do we have any? We need one.
Well, we're gonna discuss it with the
Can-
coaches, and then we are gonna have a coaches clinic before the season starts, but it'll
When?
be after the draft.
What? But practices start that Monday, so you'd have to have them before.
No, it'll be fine. It'll be towards the beginning. Yeah, we'll try to get it towards the
Why
beginning.
can't we do it Sunday after the draft
Just take the whole weekend and use it all baseball.
and just be done with it, and then the kids can go do their practices?
It's a
And
tentative.
Sunday's a bad day. You can't do it on Sunday.
Not Friday night before the draft, like it used to be.
We could
27.
we could if we can get someone to do it for us, the coaches clinic for us. So tentatively put down the 27th, that Friday.
Coach clinic.
Yeah.
8/27. Okay, and then opening day would be September 18th, and you think then that's
That's 3 weeks of practice.
3 weeks?
Yeah, and that gives them plenty of time to get uniforms.
30. Okay.
Now, one thing Jerry brought up is Wellington does this, and Acreage used to do this, is like 6U gets half extra small, half small, 1 through 13.
Rather than taking the sizes
Rather than
on the
taking
website.
sizes, take that off, and because I'd rather deal with a few that doesn't fit than all this confusion about I ordered this, I ordered that, I ordered this. That's how Connor ended up number 9,
Doesn't
because he's always been taller, and he was number 9 on the list because that's the extra large. And
Jerry's been suggesting it for a while. Why don't you do
It's
just
what everybody does,
12
and there's no
uniforms?
confusion.
General, what do you guys think?
He can actually, if we tell him that, the uniforms can be done like way before, and he can take his time and get them all done.
Yeah, and he just has to do.
How much extra work is it for the abnormally large child who now doesn't have
It's-
a uniform?
Right. It's better
he'd only
to,
have
hey, we need
handful
3
of it.
extra larges for, or we need 6 extra larges for 15U, adult extra larges.
No.
Then he makes them. He's not waiting till the very end to make all the uniforms at one time. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
'cause we're gonna. I mean, in 15U, 12U, 15U, we're gonna have more of an issue
Yeah.
with sizes.
We're going to be sizing more in there,
Right.
but
He
the
suggested
6U,
if
8U,
there's-
10U,
If there's extra, just sell them in concession stand for $5 or something like that. An extra practice jersey or whatever.
he
don't
just
know.
said it
Thought it-
makes it so much easier.
Thought it would make sense. I mean, we are gonna run into the. You just hold it up. Connor can wear a youth large if he had to, or adult small. You know what I mean?
I'm
There's a
just
few different.
I'm on that side where my kids were always the
Odd man
bigger
out.
ones, and then my kid wouldn't have a uniform.
Okay.
Are we talking about
How
all
many
age
is that
divisions or
how many
just?
normally
Yeah,
is
all
like
the
that?
age
I don't know. but-
Yeah. Yes.
Just to get the odds and ends.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get them the day before. You're like gonna get them a week into practice. Here's your uniform.
Right.
But
no,
are
I'm
those
just
extra
saying, like,
uniforms going to cost us more money?
cost-wise,
What is it?
how-
Are those extra uniforms going to cost us more money?
yeah, how much
No, we're
extra
still
is
gonna.
that be?
It's still gonna cost whatever we pay. I mean, the hat, we already pay the hat, and the hat is the most expensive. So the jerseys would be. He would charge us for the additional jerseys. It would say there's 20 out of 500, 400 uniforms. We would sell The small that didn't fit anybody, stick it in concession and sell it
think you're
for
gonna
$10,
sell them.
$5. No,
I don't think so. I think T-ball, maybe 8U, that may work, but when you get up to 10U, 12U, there's a lot of different sizes. I mean, I
Okay.
had a kid that was like youth small still on my 12U team.
yeah.
How many times were those sizes right and we had to get different shirts and pay for different shirts? It happens
Well, no,
anyway.
I mean,
It
yeah,
happens,
there is.
absolutely happens
That's
anyway.
true.
Well, if a parent puts the wrong size, that's on them.
It isn't though.
Yeah, it is.
How?
Yeah, it is. They have to
needs
pay
to
for
be.
it. They
It
have
is.
to pay for it. If they
Well, that's
input the
never
wrong
been
size.
enforced. Yeah.
Well, that's a problem of us. It should be enforced. It's not when they sign online and they put a size. If they don't know their own kid's size, that's their problem, not ours. Why are we paying for that jersey?
I always enforce it. I'm pretty sure Crystal did too. We've enforced the pay $25 for your new jersey.
I mean, I think T-ball and maybe 8U, you could get away with doing 2 sizes, and then, but I think once you get beyond that, you have. I think that'd be crazy. I think we'd be spending too much money because you saw 12U.
Yeah.
I mean, we had Julian on my team that was bigger than me, and you had Christian, yeah, that was the size of Zoe.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know that would work out very well because we had sizes from I think youth medium to adult extra large on my team. Well, you had double, yeah, Leo. So I don't see that working with the older divisions. I think
I
we'd be eating a ton of money.
I understand the thought process there, but I think it's going to create a lot more work.
And
think
if we
it's
have
gonna
3
be a
weeks,
lot
then
more
it'll
money.
be okay.
Yeah, I mean, this
All right.
time he's going to have 3 weeks, so let's see how it works out.
Okay.
All right. I
Sticking
just
with
had to
that.
bring it up because he brought it up. What else? So where are we at with fall dates? So then we have, that's all you needed. And that's all Brandon needed.
Yeah.
Was that
Are we
right there.
doing? Are we allowed to do? Are we allowed to talk about COVID protocol now? What's going on? Do we have to follow? Are we allowed to have opening day, opening ceremonies, opening party? Do we know?
That we still have to
Okay.
check.
Next.
I
next time.
think we're going towards the fact that I think we may be able to have it this year. But that I'll propose out to see where we are with it.
Okay, great. So you'll let us know on that.
Life is
Yeah.
almost back to normal.
If we are doing that, are we going to do the Friday night thing
Yes.
again?
Yes.
Yes.
We know.
Agreed.
I-
150%.
Okay.
I didn't even have a kid in there
Nope.
this time.
I think they should have a restraining order against the bar.
Okay, so we
goodness.
got what Brandon needs and the rest, but we are going to nail down this schedule even through the tournament at the end before season starts.
Oh,
The fall season schedule. Everything's going to be done.
you can have brackets and everything. Well,
And
isn't
there
the
is.
fall
Everything's
done
gonna be
by the
scheduled
numbers that you
before we
choose
even
for the
start.
draft anyway? Isn't that how it's done?
Yeah, we already know these are the teams, this is when this one's playing this one, you know what I mean? It's just there. Because this last season was crazy. It was insane with the schedule of changes, and we're just not doing that. If you're if you
Jesse did a
manage
good
2
job.
teams, you work it out. If you can't work it out without asking us to change one date, then don't manage 2 teams. Period.
And listen, I honestly 100% do not mind trying to work around it if I know in advance. It's the afterwards stuff or the, hey, listen, Dave, on this date, I could not, bypass having Tony and Zoe at the same time. Okay, that's fine. I'll figure it out. Like if it's 1 or 2 times, but it was the so many after the fact. Hey, I forgot to tell you I have this. Well, I've already done the schedule. It's already done.
At the
Like,
draft,
that's- yeah.
Jesse's going to ask you, what days do you want to practice on? Do you have any conflicts? And that's it. After that day, don't even try because the schedule's not changing. Period. You work it out. This last season was crazy.
And playoffs are gonna not be quite as easy to maneuver around if you have multiple teams.
Yeah.
Just to know that in advance.
How do we
for all the
feel about
coaches.
going back to set schedules like 12U plays games on Wednesday nights or 8U plays games on Tuesday nights? Is that doable or no?
That's how we start.
I generally do that
Yeah.
to begin with, and then as makeup games have to happen, then I gotta squeeze them in somewhere else. But
Okay.
generally speaking, at the beginning of the season, I set aside, all right, 12U plays Tuesday, Wednesday. 8U plays on Thursday. Like, whatever that has to be.
She just said that. That's what she said.
Pitching.
Yeah.
'Cause of-
And that kind of goes, and I'm not trying to point fingers, so don't misunderstand what I'm saying, but that kind of goes back to, I had a schedule set, and then I was told later, oh no, you need to move for this because we're gonna have a travel team on this day, or whatever it happens to be. So that's why this season it is what it is, and that's what we're gonna roll with. But
Sounds
I 100% understand the pitching for 10U and up.
Thanks, Jeff.
Are we giving travel on Thursdays? Is that what we're going to do?
We're going to discuss it when we're putting the schedule together. All right. So we got what Brandon needs. We got as far in the schedule as we needed to get tonight. Open mic. Has anybody got anything they?
I got some.
Oh gosh. Okay.
All right. No, I know you mentioned the other 12U team that we're gonna have. We're gonna have tryouts on August 7th. I just want to get that in the minutes so we keep that field open. 11, 12, and 13. And Manning's tryouts coming before ours will probably help us a lot because then because there's obviously going to be more kids than he needs, and if we can try to keep those kids in the park. I know they're coming from. Are all of them coming from out of county? No. Okay. There's some local boys. Sorry. There's some local boys coming, or Okay. All right. Well, that'll help out a lot. Yeah, we're gonna head out there. Yeah, we're just gonna see if we have an interest in the 13, and we'll have to worry about a coach after that. If we get enough people, Angel will take the 11 and 12s. I'll take the 13. If because I know Glenn he wanted to look at a 13U team at a later date, so we'll see the interest in it. And I'm also going to see Sean here in the next few days, see if he's interested in it. But I know he's slam packed, pitching guru. And the second thing I got is the girls' bathroom. I mean, that's our second biggest problem here, second biggest complaint.
At Willows.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been brought up. It's been mentioned. So.
I mean, I got some old tile. I know how to tile. I can tile and clean it all up and put a new commode on there.
No, they're working on it. The thing about it is we need the time, the closure time.
Right.
So if we're constantly, out there and having games, practices, they don't have enough time to shut them down, really get in and kind of do some stuff. And it already makes it bad that they're outdoor bathrooms.
Yeah.
So they just don't get that same treatment as if it was under air, but we're aware and trying to fix them the best we can. We're going around to doing all of the parks, so we're trying to get to it and take care of those.
Yeah, if you need the time, do it. We'll make sure that we use the other two.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? If you have to take the time, take whatever time you need to get it done, because that's a big complaint we get all the time.
Yeah.
Well, that's because there was something wrong with it this season. A lot. It was broke down for a little while. Yeah.
Yeah.
For weeks. I don't know about the men's. I think Brandon's.
Was it recently? Okay, because they're recently there were some issues with it where they were getting in and working on drainage. They had it locked. But it's something that sometimes they'll just leave them locked. Yeah, but they'll make sure that they'll be open and.
Okay. Does anybody else have anything else? Amy, Michelle. Sir?
Want to take the mic, Amy?
Okay, if nobody has anything else, I'd like to motion to end the meeting. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting is adjourned.